facts about food I guarantee you didn't know. Broccoli is not real, it's a mutant cabbage and it's man-made. In 1990, they started producing bioengineered food ingredients, but only in 2016 were they required to put it on a label. Post-1916-1970, canola oil was actually unconsumable because it was toxic, and it's not canola oil. Here's a fun one. Carrots used to be white and purple, not orange. Real bananas are filled with seeds. Seedless watermelons were genetically modified. The first potato chip was actually an accident, then whoops. Those are actually just sludge, don't eat them. And real quick, the only reason they taste good is you have some sort of cornstarch, like a sugar, sugar modified cornstarch, salt and oil. That's hyper palatable food. And these were accidentally created. I think accidentally created all the same. There's sugar, salt, and oils right there. Then when you look at all the other ones, there's your potatoes, so your carbohydrates, your oils, and your salts. And these were all created so your brain can reach its bliss point. Potato chips. You'll come across interesting research when you look into casein A1 proteins and casein A2 proteins. Casein A1, diabetes, being a first world country problem. You know, every soda that is dark in color is only dark in color because it has caramel color. Another fun fact, why do they use high fructose corn syrup in place of sugar? You may notice in a lot of foods citric acids, natural preservative. It balances the pH. But what you may begin to notice is that the salts, the oils, the sugars, the high fructose corn syrup, the citric acids, the food colorings, and the bioengineered food ingredients are all neatly packaged in something made of marketing. One thing I want to bring to your attention with food colorings is notice there's a lot of food colorings in food for children. These unicorn snacks aren't for adults. They're bioengineered specifically for children based on the food colorings, the soybean oils, the sugars, and the salts. Nothing in this entire aisle is edible for humans. Just like the potato chip aisle being an accident, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, was just to get more food in your mouth earlier and raise your blood sugar levels. But not only raise your blood sugar levels, but make sure you get that bioengineered food ingredients with food coloring and not good stuff. And you can notice how the larger corporations can afford different languages. And the smaller corporations can't afford that, but at least their food's natural. After World War II, we started adding natural and artificial flavor. And it should scare you. Here's some mandarin oranges, right? Why do you need to add natural flavors to it? There's nothing natural about natural flavors and food that's supposed to be natural. The bigger the bag, the bigger the pile of junk. I mean, this one's crazy. You got sugar and the oil in the cereal. Sugar, oil, and salt. It's crazy. Now think about that for a second. There's a casein A1 protein and a casein A2 protein. Food colorings are banned in other people's countries. Hyperpalatable foods are a bliss point in your brain, and you're only eating it because it's engineered to taste great. Here's a fun one. Red, orange, yellow. There's no green, but there's blue and purple. Purple. Humans take colors as nutritional density. You can see them market it right here. But there's your good old natural flavors. You know, cherries should be red because they're red, not because there's red food coloring. So for nutritional density purposes, this potato is brown on the outside, white on the inside. This one's orange all the way through. While an avocado is green all the way through, and apple is not. So you can come to some pretty profound conclusions of navigating the grocery store. It's a lot harder than you think it is. So when in doubt, flip it about and ask yourself, soybean oil, sugar, and salt. High fructose corn syrup, sugar, vegetable oil, and salt. Your favorite health influencers will tell you, oh, it's okay in moderation. But there is zero moderation. There's your soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup, and salt. You have 1, 2, 3 ingredients on the end caps. Caramel color, natural flavor. Caramel color, natural flavor. And vegetable oil, sugar, salt. What's actually interesting is in your Hidden Valley Ranch, you have monosodium glutamate, then you have disodium. Check this out. You ready for it? Flamin' Hot Cheetos, monosodium glutamate, disodium again. So remember, majority of your foods are created for your bliss point. Your children walk at this height, your adults walk at this height, and then they put everything healthy up there because that's the only place the companies can afford. And it doesn't matter how healthy the bag of food looks, just ask yourself, does this stuff reoccur in nature? You know, there's your oil, your sugars, and your salts, and your natural flavors, all combined in something that looks better for you. But pay attention, 130 grams, 18 grams of carbohydrates, less than 1 gram of dietary fiber. Compare it to a Dorito, about the same calories, same carbohydrates, just a little bit of different ingredients. Obviously, these are way worse. So what can we as mere mortals do about this, where this thing actually used to be this high a week ago? The answer is nothing. You can see the older generation is still consuming these. It's going to take about 50 years before they're not the main purchasers anymore, and you and I become the main purchasers. I grew up on these as a children, and they're still for sale to children nowadays. There's still going to be uninformed individuals who still make these choices. And everybody here that eats healthy can completely agree with the fact that your entire mental health in general improves when you eat healthier. Everything feels better when you eat healthy food because your belly is your brain, which is mind your gut and you keep your mind. Because Lunchables are not lunch. They're just a massive chemical cocktail of ingredients your body doesn't even need. So all you and I can do is stay informed and choose to not make these choices. Because we're all going to get older, and it doesn't mean you need to feel worse. You can age feeling great. But if you're addicted to chips because there's some sort of carbohydrate, oil, and salt in them, see the sugar, oil, salt right there, then you could call that a little bit of a dependency and addiction. And ask yourself this: if you take pre-workout now, are you really going to take pre-workout when you're 80 years old and you're going to go for a run or a walk? No. So then why make these decisions now? Remember, when in doubt, flip it about and ask yourself, why are they engineering the food for me to eat? What are they really trying to put in my body? Because they are going to make it taste great. You can be assured of that. So bring your body back to homeostasis by following the homeostasis diet, where we don't eat food that's not real. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, if you get your eating habits under control, everything else in your life is so much easier. Because these foods have been designed in a laboratory for you to become addicted to them. Oh, and fun fact, there's also food sensitivities. A lot of people have it to citric acid, by the way. That's why I try to raise awareness in these areas, because it's in everything. And imagine, you think you're eating healthy, but you're eating something you're sensitive to. Like a guy we met that was a trucker on the road who used to make better choices choosing walnuts, and he was severely sensitive to them. Stop those, everything changed. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future, and have a beautiful day.